Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presents the Utah High School Activities Association 1A Girls Basketball State Championship Tournament at the Sevier Valley Center in Richfield, Utah, and online at kadqradio.com, at live.ksl.com, and at watchit.deseretnews.com. Today's games are also brought to you by Cook Brothers Broadcasting and Deseret Digital Media. We hope you enjoy this presentation of Utah High School Girls Basketball.
All right, this is the 1A Utah State Girls Basketball Championship, and right now the last game of the day is going to be Whitehorse against the Panguitch Bobcats. Whitehorse Raiders, Panguitch Bobcats. Whitehorse Raiders come in with an 8-8 record on the season, while Panguitch comes in with a 21-0 on the season. Panguitch is obviously the heavily favored team going into this game, as Whitehorse and Panguitch are out here warming up. Last game, Rich just defeated the Wendover Wildcats in not a very close game. So Rich will be taking on the winner of this game, whoever wins out of the Bobcats and the Raiders, tomorrow in the semifinals. And that game will be played at 6 o'clock. As the last time Panguitch was in the state championship, or won the state championship, was 2006. And Whitehorse has not ever had a state championship underneath their belt. And going against the heavily favored Bobcats, we'll see what the outcome is. But that chance of them having a state championship may be slim to none. We'll see how this game plays out, though, as the Panguitch Bobcats are coached by Curtis Barney and Whitehorse Raiders by Evelyn Billy. And game time starts in 3 minutes. The teams still continue to warm up. And this is the Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament.
Think about your vehicle. Each time you drive it, you get in, buckle your seatbelt, and push the gas pedal. Does the steering feel loose? Does your front end rattle? If the answer is yes, stop in at Big O Tires of Evanston today and let the team you trust check your front end. It's a simple step to keep you safe when operating your vehicle. Stop in today. Big O Tires, the team you trust. 607 Cheyenne Drive, Evanston.
What makes us stand out from our competition? Knowledge. Certified technicians with the proper state-of-the-art diagnostic and repair equipment. Quality. Genuine AC Delco and quality GM parts. And what makes us stand out from our competition is you, our customers. Intelligent people who know a good deal and quality work when they see it.
We're Castle Rock.
Outstanding. This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Panguitch High School Lady Bobcat Boosters.
Canyon Country Drilling, offering pump service and quality water well drilling. Canyon Country Drilling at msn.com.
When visiting Panguitch, stay at the Canyon Lodge Motel, your home away from home. Make your reservations at canyonlodgemotel.com.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
All right, this is the broadcast for Whitehorse versus Panguitch in the 1A Utah State Girls Championship Tournament, as the Panguitch Bobcats get ready to take on the Raiders. Some leading scorers for Panguitch throughout the season include Taylor Bennett, a sophomore forward who averages 14.2 points per game, followed by number 22, Whitney Orton, a sophomore guard. And some of the top scorers for Whitehorse, Raphaelia Filfred, a senior center, with 14.7, and Christy Dixon, a junior guard, averages 14.6. As we get ready to announce the starting five for each team right here, as the Bobcats take on the Raiders at the last game of the night here on Thursday. And we're going to introduce the Whitehorse Raiders first, I do believe, as the Whitehorse team just has one last huddle before the final starters are called. Number one, Rochelle Filfred for Whitehorse. Forward number 22, Michaela Mitchell. the center, number 5, Raphaelia Filfred. Guard number 3, Tomsina Yellowman. Number, let's see, did it say 13? All right, and to announce Panguitch as they stomp on the ground waiting for their starters, coached by Curtis Barney. Forward number 42, Chesney Campbell. Forward number 44, Taylor Bennett. Number 10, Dari Franson. Number 40, Katanya Holman. And number 22, Whitney Orton. As both teams line up getting ready for tip-off. Panguitch out there in their white uniforms, Whitehorse in their black and yellow, as refs get ready, run out on the court and get ready for tip-off. Number 10 from Panguitch, Dari Franson, is going to tip off, and number 5, Raphaelia Filfred. As Panguitch gets a tip, let's start this game off, as number 44 hands it into Panguitch, and a strip from Whitehorse already, as they race it down the floor. But Panguitch returns with another strip, as now it's Panguitch ball. 2 turnovers in the first 15 seconds of the game, as Panguitch inbounds at number 22, Whitney Orton is going to take control for the Panguitch Bobcats. She hands it off to the left wing, 44, Taylor Bennett. She looks back up top to 22, Whitney Orton. Back up top after handing it to the right wing. Back over to the left side, 44, Taylor Bennett gets it to the baseline, number 10, Dari Franson. Panguitch just pushing it around the perimeter, looking for an inside shot, but then it's stripped away by Whitehorse, as Whitehorse has control of the ball. Number 22, Michaela Mitchell, passes it and gets it deflected by Panguitch. Panguitch knocks it out of bounds. So Whitehorse ball, as number 3 takes it out. Thomasina Yellowman is going to inbound it for the Raiders, as the ref gets ready to hand her the ball. She looks for Christy Dickinson, as she drives to the middle, hands it off to number 5, Raphaelia Filfred. Back down low to number 22, Michaela Mitchell. She goes up for a shot, no good. Panguitch picks up the rebound, as Katina Holman runs it down, throws a baseball pass clear down to Whitney Orton. She passes it back out top. Gives it back to Brianna Brimmer on the baseline. She drives in, no good. Rebounded by Whitehorse. Whitehorse has control. Number 1, Rochelle Filfred, hands it back off to Christy Dickinson as she drives to the right-hand side. Is going to go up for a layup, but they're going to call a travel on her as she's nailed to the ground by 3 Panguitch Bobcats. As Franson passes it back into Whitney Orton, as Orton sets up the offense for Panguitch. She's going to go to the left side, back to Bennett. Bennett inside to Katina Holman, and Holman for 2. Down on the right side baseline. First score of the night, as Whitehorse has control offensively, as Dickinson was stuck behind, passes it back out to number 1, Rochelle Filfred. Missed the 3-pointer, as Orton races down the court, stops early at the foul line, gets it down into Dari Franson. She tries to make a post move, no luck. Passes it back out to Whitney Orton. She shoots a jumper. Panguitch up 4-0 in this ball game, as the Raiders take control offensively. And Dickinson has the ball, trying to set up the offense. She's going to go hard to the left side. She's going to go up for a layup. She's going to get fouled on the drive. She'll have the opportunity to shoot 2 free throws, as the foul is going to go to Panguitch. Number 42, Chesney Campbell. Dickinson goes for her first shot. It's up and no good. Just bounces off the front of the rim. Gets some high fives from her teammates as she gets ready to shoot number 2. This could be the first score for the Raiders. Up and good. It's now 4-1 for Panguitch, as Katanya Holman brings it down the floor for Bobcats, sets up the offense to the right wing. Taylor Bennett, as she gets it inside to Franson. Franson trying to make a move, passes it back out to Orton on the baseline. Orton's going to put up a jumper, and it's good. 4 points already on the night for Whitney Orton. It's going to move the Bobcats up 6-1 in this game. As Whitehorse tries to get it inside to Thomasina Yellowman, knocks it off her hands, and turnover for the Raiders as Bobcats again gets the ball. Bennett inbounding it to Holman. Holman has control of the Panguitch offense. She's going to try and set it up. She looks to the left-hand wing over to Orton, passes it clear cross over to Bennett. Bennett's going to shoot the three, no good, off the front of the rim, rebounded by Franson. Back out to Orton, back out to Holman, who's going to go for the, she wanted it to be a three, but she stepped on the line. 2 points right there for Holman. 4 points for her. Whitehorse ball as Dickinson brings it back down the court. Tries to go for a long pass, but it's deflected by Panguitch. Panguitch picks it up and goes on a long, fast break to Chesney Campbell, who makes it 2 points quick as Panguitch is up 10-1. 30-second timeout for Whitehorse. And this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament. And you can always watch online at kadqradio.com.
They may be last year's models, but they're still brand new vehicles. And now you can save big on the 2013s that are left on the lot at Cowboy Motor Company. Save over $9,000 on a Ram 2500 SLT Crew Cummins diesel. Save over $5,500 on a Durango RT and over $9,000 on a Chrysler 300C John Barbados. Restrictions apply. Cowboy Motor Company has millions of dollars in financing for all types of credit. They may be last year's models, but they're still brand new vehicles at Cowboy Motor Company in Evanston.
Back in action against Raiders and Panguitch Bobcats in 1A state play. Dickinson has control for the Raiders as she brings up the ball, looking for maybe one of her teammates to get an inside shot. No, she's going to take it all by her hands, drive it in, dish it off to number 5, Raphaelia Filfred, and she's going to lay it up for 2 points. As Panguitch again has control of the ball. And Orton goes in for a left-handed layup, and it's good. Whitney Orton with 6 points on the game. Raider ball once again. Left side. Good pass from Dickinson to Michelle Mitchell. She misses her layup as Panguitch brings up the rebound. As Holman starts to put up the play, passes it to right wing Taylor Bennett. She's now on the baseline. Hands it off to Chesney Campbell. Put it up, no good. Derry Franson with the putback for 2 more points for the Bobcats. Now Bobcats lead 14-3 with just under 4 minutes left in this first quarter. And we're going to have a travel on Whitehorse after Rochelle Filfred went up for a three and banked it in. They call it travel, so that basket does not count. And Taylor Bennett of Panguitch is going to inbound it to Holman as Whitehorse has some substitutions. Going to have number 4 check in, Aaliyah Benali, as Holman has the ball for Panguitch. She looks to the right wing to Bennett. Bennett looks inside. Campbell comes up. She was looking for her. Orton goes baseline, passes it into Franson, and it's blocked by Whitehorse as Benali races down, tries to get a, oh, it looks like kind of a wrestling match there. Orton went for the steal, and Benali wasn't going to have that. So she kind of pushed her on the floor, and they're going to call it a jump ball, and it's going to be Raider basketball as Dickinson inbounds for Whitehorse. They might get a 5-second call here as they can't find anybody open. Barely get it in time to Aaliyah Benali, but it's stripped away by the Bobcats by Whitney Orton. She throws it to Holman, who misses a layup, but Panguitch comes up with the offensive rebound. Passes it back out to Orton on the baseline. She goes up, no good. Rebounded by Chelsea Campbell, who kicks it back out. Orton has the ball, passes it back into Bennett. Bennett's going to go for her first layup. No good, but she's going to get fouled. We'll give her 2 shots at the foul line as Panguitch leads 14-3. The foul was on Raphaelia Filfred, and that was her first foul, along with first team foul for the Raiders. Bennett's first shot is up and just short, bounces off the front of the rim. As substitutions come back in for Whitehorse, as number 5 checks back in, Raphaelia Filfred. And Bennett goes up for her second shot. Up, and it is good. Nothing but net on that one. Taylor Bennett with 1 point on the game as Whitehorse picks up the offense again. Dickinson at the head of the Whitehorse crew here. She looks for Aaliyah Benali cutting to the backboard. Couldn't find her. She takes up a crazy forced shot for herself. No good, as it's in Campbell's hands as she passes it forward to Holman. And Whitehorse ball as it is stripped away again by Panguitch. And Orton has the ball. She's racing down the court. She has 3 open players down there. Goes for Chelsea Campbell, leans back in, saves the ball as it's kind of a long pass. It's tipped off by Whitehorse, and it's going to be Panguitch basketball. Orton's going to be under the basket, inbounding it for the Bobcats. She looks for players. Nobody's really moving. They're just standing in a horizontal line. But let's see. Holman comes up for the jumper. 2 more points, and it's 19-3 for the Bobcats. And we're going to have a foul on number 23 of Whitehorse. Kind of pushed Panguitch around there a little bit on Yvette Whitehorse. That's her first foul. Oh, I'm just kidding. I was on Panguitch. It was on Taylor Bennett, number 44 of Panguitch. And again, another foul by Panguitch, and I think it was on Holman this time. She got her first foul as Whitehorse is going to inbound the ball again. Gets it out to Benali. She tries to take it in, and it's blocked. Panguitch on the run again as Taylor Bennett has on the left wing, passes to the baseline, and Orton passes it clear up top to Holman. Holman goes back to the left wing to Bennett. Back to Orton on the baseline. She puts up a baseline shot. Shot a little bit over it, but it's tipped out by Whitehorse. So Panguitch ball again as Whitehorse has another substitution. They're going to bring in 20, Fayette Whitehorse, as Orton from Panguitch has the ball on the inbound play. She's going to toss it clear out to Holman. Holman from the baseline. She's boxed out hard, knocked to the ground. She's going to get a foul by Alea Benali of Whitehorse. That's going to be her first foul. It's going to bring Holman to the line, as she already has 6 points on the game. She's going to have another opportunity for 6 here. Holman's first shot is up and short, bounces off the front of the rim as she goes for her second attempt. She's going to take a couple dribbles here, in that routine foul shot mode. Her first shot is up and no good. This time bounced off the backboard, but it was rebounded by Campbell, which goes up no good, rebounded by Whitehorse. Whitehorse has control of the ball, passes it to number 20 on the left wing, Fayette Whitehorse, and they put up a jumper, no good, rebounded Panguitch. Holman has the ball again as she races down, looks for Orton on the left side baseline, but gets it to Chelsea Campbell, who puts up another baseline jumper for 2 points. She has 4 points on the game. As Benali hands it off to the wing on the left side of Whitehorse, Raphaelia Filfred. She drives from the left-handed layup, no good. Holman gets the ball, looks for Taylor Orton, who's sprinting down the floor, gets it to her maybe a little too late, but Taylor's going to finish strong with the layup anyway and get the and one. So she's looking for the 3-point play. And Orton's going to line up, get ready for her and one shot. And that foul was on Yvette Whitehorse of Whitehorse. She sinks that and off Whitehorse ball. Almost stripped away again by number 10, Derry Franson. Shot up by Benali of Whitehorse, no good. And it's going to be Panguitch ball. And Dickinson checks back in for the Raiders. Holman for the Bobcats has the ball. Panguitch playing pretty good offense against a smaller Whitehorse team. They have a huge height advantage, and I'm going to say a little bit more speed, maybe a little more consistency. And then Whitehorse goes in for a steal and fouls Whitney Orton. And that was on Whitehorse, and that's her second. Panguitch ball. Orton has the ball from the inbound. She looks to set up the play. She's going to the, looks like she wanted to go to the right wing there to Chesney Campbell, but she's going to take it into the hole, make a right-handed layup, just split the defenders, went right to it. Whitney Orton is dominating the offensive side for the Bobcats, as Whitehorse tried to return the favor with hardly any seconds on the scoreboard, and that will end the first quarter. Panguitch up 26 to Whitehorse's 3. And this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament.
Once upon a time, there was a family of frogs. They enjoyed surfing the internet. They found it absolutely riveting. So when their computer croaked, they were hopping mad. They swam down to see Wayne at PC Innovations in Evanston, across from Big O Tire in Frontier Square. Wayne was able to get all of the bugs out of their computer, which they promptly ate, and then our frogs jumped for joy. When you have computer problems, see Wayne at PC Innovations for your very own happy ending. This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Whitehorse High School Lady Raider Boosters.
Montezuma Well Service. For all vacuum, winch trucks, and roustabout services, call the team at Montezuma Well Services.
The Whitehorse High School staff, helping our students strive for excellence in all they do. Whitehorse High School.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
Back in action here, Holman from Panguitch has the ball, gives it off to left wing Whitney Orton, and it's stripped away by Whitehorse as Dickinson has the ball running down the court. She's going to go to the left side, passing it back to the right, and a hard shot off the backboard by Raphaelia Filfred. Offensive rebound, up layup, no good. Rebounded by Derry Franson. She was kind of stuck down there with two defenders on her. She's going to draw the foul, and it's going to be Panguitch basketball. That was on, on Raphaelia Filfred. That was her second foul for the Whitehorse. Whitehorse now has 5 team fouls compared to Panguitch's 3, as Holman has control of the ball, taking it down the floor. As she's looking to Orton on the left side wing, Orton looks inside to Chesney Campbell, who is wide open, but two defenders hurrying close in on her, but then she ends up traveling while kind of deciding whether or not she should shoot it or give it out to Taylor Bennett, who's right behind her. So, Whitehorse ball. Dickinson's going to bring it back up the court. She's looking to go to the left side, turns back around to the right, stops, hands it off to Fayette Whitehorse, and it's stripped away by Taylor Orton and picked up by Holman. Holman's going for a fast break layup, but bounce passes it right to, Chesney Campbell for another 2 points. That's 6 points for her, as Whitney Orton again steals another one, left-handed layup on the fast break, and it's good. Whitehorse is down. Panguitch up 30-3, as Whitehorse trying to get something going offensively. Just not seeing it happening right now, but Fayette Whitehorse has it up top, passes to the right wing, as Rochelle Filfred takes the baseline, puts up a shot, no good, rebounded by Chesney Campbell. She passes it to Whitney Orton down on the baseline, who gets it down into Derry Franson for another 2 points. Panguitch now up 32-3, as Whitehorse is looking for any shot they can get off of these Bobcats. And Thomasina Yellowman drives into the right, no good. She's got 3 Bobcat defenders on her. Dickinson picks up the ball, goes for an underhand layup there, no good. And Holman will pick up the ball. She sees Chesney Campbell sprinting down the floor as Campbell finishes with another layup. 8 points for Campbell. 34-3 for Panguitch, as Whitehorse is going to be charged with an offensive foul by Dickinson. Oh, just kidding. They're going to call that on Thomasina Yellowman. That's her first foul. As Panguitch again is going to inbound the ball. Taylor Bennett to Catania Holman. Holman looks to Brianne Birch for the Bobcats. She's open in the post. Nobody looks at her. Holman gets it back up top. As Chesney Campbell and Derry Franson are both underneath, wide open. They just don't want to give it to him. Whitehorse again with the ball. Dickinson driving it. She's going to go left-handed, try to get another layup, but this time she's going to go hard and get a foul. I think that's what she was going for. She kind of felt like her team's not moving enough for her, so she just took that upon herself. She's going to have 2 shots at the free throw line, and that foul was on Chesney Campbell. That's her second. Dickinson's first shot up and no good. As Whitehorse has another substitution, Aaliyah Benali comes back in for Whitehorse. And for Panguitch, Maisie Miller comes in for Chesney Campbell. Chrissy Dickinson puts her second shot up, no good, rebounded by Panguitch. Derry Franson, she gets it down to Maisie Miller. Maisie Miller hands it off to Derry Franson. She goes in for the layup, scores, and gets the and one. She's fouled. She's fouled by by number 10, Chrissy Dickinson. That's her first foul. Franson's shot up, no good. As Whitehorse races it back down, Dickinson goes almost for another layup again, hands it off to Alea Benali, gets it back out, tipped by her teammate, couldn't handle that ball. Panguitch again with the ball. Birch inbounds it to Holman. Holman sets up the offense one more time for Panguitch as she gets it to the baseline where Taylor Bennett is just sitting in the corner and Derry Franson is wide open. Holman from the top gets it down to Franson. Another 2 points for Franson, and it's 38-3 for Panguitch. Whitehorse has the ball up top with number 34, Dominique Poblito. She takes it outside to the right-hand wing. Tomsina Yellowman gets it back to Dominique Poblito as she tries to get it into Dickinson, and is stripped away by Panguitch. Holman now on a fast break, and she's going to get knocked down pretty hard by Aaliyah Benali, but they're not going to call a foul on that one. Just over 4 minutes of play in this first half. And Panguitch subs in Caitlin Brinkerhoff for Catania Holman. Panguitch ball. And Brinkerhoff gets it inside to Maisie Miller, who gives it back to Taylor Bennett on the left side wing. Back up top to Brianne Birch, who gets it inside to Taylor Bennett, who goes up for a layup and no good, but she's going to get fouled and draw 2 more free throws. Panguitch are still leading 38-3. And Rochelle Filfred is going to take that foul for Whitehorse. As Bennett sets up for her first shot. Her first shot is up and good. And we're going to have another substitution for Whitehorse. Raphaelia Filfred is coming back in for Michaela Mitchell. And Bennett's going to set up for her second shot. She made the first one, and her second one is up. No good. Hits off the back end. But is rebounded by Maisie Miller. Back into Taylor Bennett, who's going to go up again. But the refs are going to call a travel on her. As Whitehorse is going to pick up the ball. 39-3 for Panguitch. Just under 4 minutes of play in this first half. Dickinson with the ball. As she looks for Aaliyah Benali. Cutting from the wing, she goes to the corner. And Raphaelia Filfred up top. Passes it inside to Rochelle Filfred. And Whitehorse is going to get a foul, and Taylor Bennett's going to pick up her second. Inbound from Whitehorse to Benali as she gets it back inside, back out to Benali. She's going to take a 2-point just right below the 3-point line. No good. Rebounded by Panguitch as Taylor Bennett brings the ball down the court and hands it back off to Birch. Birch gets it into Franson. Franson got a wide open layup. 2 more points for Franson. And we're going to have another substitution for Panguitch. And Chesney Campbell's going to check back in and give Taylor Bennett a break for a second. And we're going to have a timeout on Whitehorse's bench. And this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament. Make sure to watch online at live.ksl.com.
Throughout our lives, there are times we may need skilled rehabilitation and nursing care or home health and hospice care. Rocky Mountain Care has been providing these services since 1990. Our skilled staff and specialized programs will meet your loved one's needs. Our staff is dedicated to a high-quality outcome for each of our patients and residents. When you or someone you love needs these professional services, think of Rocky Mountain Care. Simply the best care. www.rmcare.com. KADQRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, and sports. But that's not all. KADQRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Utah and Wyoming high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events and activities and much more. Pictures from this tournament will be available for free download within a day or two from now, and we'll have photographs from other Utah and Wyoming state tournaments and championship events as they happen. Check it out today and see what KADQRadio.com has for you.
Panguitch takes the court and waiting for Whitehorse to come back on, as Whitehorse has just called a timeout. Whitehorse ball as Dickinson inbounds it to Thomasina Yellowman. Gives it back to Dickinson, who has control of the offense here. She's going to go to the left side, back to the center, try and shoot it or pass it, and it's stripped away by Panguitch. Number 21, Caitlin Brinkerhoff, with the fast break layup, and it's good. Panguitch now up 43-3 in this first half. And Rochelle Filfred went up for a layup, but no good. She missed that, and it came down to Panguitch basketball, but they couldn't keep hold of it as they knocked it out of bounds. It's going to be Whitehorse or Raiders ball. Aaliyah Benali is going to inbound for the Raiders as she gets it into Dickinson. A screen set by Thomasina Yellowman. Dickinson uses it, goes to the left side, hands it off to Rochelle Filford. She goes for 3, no good, but then a layup by number 5, Raphaelia Filfred, brings Whitehorse up to 5 points now in this first half, as Panguitch still leads 43-5. But Whitehorse comes with a rebound, miss from the Bobcats. They race it down. Dickinson's going to take a long 3, and it's going to bounce off the backboard. And almost a putback by Rochelle Filfred, but no good. And knocked out of bounds. So it's going to be Panguitch basketball. And Panguitch has a few more subs come in, as 14, Marley Torgerson, and 32, Brianna Bremner come in for Bobcats, as Miller drives in, gets it stolen by Whitehorse. Whitehorse takes it back down the court. Dickinson with the ball. She's going to go for another 3 as she shoots from college range. She's not even in the high school. No good. Almost going to try it again. Tries to throw it inside, and it's stolen by the Bobcats, as the Bobcats hand it off to Caitlin Brinkerhoff. She's going to go for a fast break layup again. She misses, rebounded by Whitehorse, and Dickinson tries to save the ball as it's passed out to her, and it is knocked out of bounds, so it's going to be Bobcat basketball again. As Brinkerhoff inbounds it to Bremner, who passes it a little long to Maisie Miller, and it goes out of bounds, so that's going to be a turnover for the Bobcats, as Whitehorse has another substitution. Number 23, Yvette Whitehorse, back in the game, as she inbounds it to Dickinson. Dickinson comes up the court pulls up, almost wants to shoot another three, doesn't. Gives it to Raphaelia Filfred from the free throw line. She doesn't, as 20. Fayette Whitehorse gets the rebound, tries to put it back up, but misses. And then Panguitch returns with a fast break layup by Marley Torgerson. 45-5 for the Bobcats. Just a little over a minute to play in this first half, as Rochelle Filfred has the ball for Whitehorse, picks it up, hands it back off to wing Yvette Whitehorse. She goes for a three, and it's short. It's going to be another Whitehorse turnover, and Panguitch is going to inbound the ball. Tonita Yazi checks in for Whitehorse, as they're starting to put a little full court press here on Panguitch, but Panguitch breaks it pretty easily, as Maisie Miller has it up top, hands it off to the wing to Maisie Miller, who has 2 points. Just made that sweet little jumper. Whitehorse ball. Dickinson again with the ball. She's going to go to the right. She's just going to pull up and shoot a three, and it goes in for Dickinson. Again, kind of from that college range. She's just trying to take the game into her own hands. Panguitch here on the offensive side. Maisie Miller on the left-hand wing passes it back up to Brianna Bremner, who's getting guarded heavily by Whitehorse defense. Back out to Marley Torgerson. Panguitch is just going to run the clock down here just before halftime. Try to anyway, but they just got a pass deflected as they tried to go underneath. Whitehorse goes running, but Panguitch comes up with a steal. Whitehorse couldn't control the ball as they were trying to run down there. And a huge half-court shot by Brianna Bremner, just barely short. It kind of looked like it was going to go in from here. And it's halftime, 47-8 for the Panguitch Bobcats, and I'll be back in just a minute to go over some halftime stats. And this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament.
This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Panguitch High School Lady Bobcat Boosters.
Cowboy Collectibles, antiquing the Western way, supplying real Western antiques. Cowboy Collectibles on Main Street in Panguitch.
Bob Orton Trucking, supporting all the great students in academics and sports at Panguitch High School. Bob Orton Trucking.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
KADQRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, and sports. But that's not all. KADQRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Utah and Wyoming high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events and activities and much more. Pictures from this tournament will be available for free download within a day or two from now, and we'll have photographs from other Utah and Wyoming state tournaments and championship events as they happen. Check it out today and see what KADQRadio.com has for you.
This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Panguitch High School Lady Bobcat Boosters.
Canyon Country Drilling, offering pump service and quality water well drilling. Canyon Country Drilling at msn.com.
When visiting Panguitch, stay at the Canyon Lodge Motel, your home away from home. Make your reservations at canyonlodgemotel.com.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
We're going to go over some Whitehorse versus Panguitch stats really quick after the first half, and Whitehorse had a rough game as they only scored 8 points. And only 2 players are on the board. Raphaelia Filfred with 4 and Christy Dickinson of 4. We'll split that in half to equal their 8. And then Panguitch is just going crazy on the offensive side as Derry Franson has 8 points. Marley Torgerson off the bench has 2, along with Caitlin Brinkerhoff with 2. Whitney Orton came out strong with 13. She's leading all scorers. And Maisie Miller also off the bench with 2. Katanya Holman with 6. Chesney Campbell with 10. And Taylor Bennett with 4. And Whitehorse is just really, really struggling to get on the boards, and Panguitch has a huge size advantage over them anyway. But the deflections that Panguitch is causing is just leading to a lot of fast break plays, along with their big post size underneath, which is not helping Whitehorse, and I think they're kind of getting a little frustrated with everything. And so we're going to come back in a little while with some more action here on the last game of the night here at the 1A Utah State Girls Basketball State Finals. And this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament. And make sure you can watch online at watchit.deseretnews.com.
For over 100 years, Union Telephone has been providing phone service to small communities, places the big guys simply ignored. We were helping our neighbors stay connected to the rest of the country. Times have changed and technology has evolved. Union has been there the entire way. Today, we still keep people connected in more ways and places than ever before. Union Wireless, treating you like a neighbor, not a number.
At Wyoming Dental Specialties, we specialize in orthodontics, endodontics, and oral surgery. Our endodontist is simply a tooth doctor. He performs procedures like root canals. Our orthodontist will straighten your teeth using products like braces and Invisalign. Our oral surgeons deliver specialized treatment, such as dental implants and tooth extractions. So save your time and money, stay local, and come to Wyoming Dental Specialties.
When we shake your hand, you know it's solid. When we make a deal, you know it's solid. Solid like a rock. We are Chevrolet. We're Castle Rock.
Like us on Facebook, CastleRockChevy.com. This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Whitehorse High School Lady Raider Boosters.
Montezuma Well Service. For all vacuum, winch trucks, and roustabout services, call the team at Montezuma Well Services.
The Whitehorse High School staff, helping our students strive for excellence in all they do. Whitehorse High School.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
Back inside the SV Center in Richfield, Utah, as Panguitch takes on the Whitehorse Raiders in the last game of the night at the 1A Utah State Girls Basketball Finals. And Panguitch is the only undefeated team in 1A and is the clear favorite to win its first state championship since 2006, with 4 players averaging in double figures. Against their opponent Whitehorse, who is actually one of the highest scoring teams in 1A, but is not showing it tonight as Panguitch is dominating the offensive side 47-8 to the Raiders. And it kind of looked like to me the Raiders just kind of gave up a little in that first half, but you don't ever know what could happen in the second half. They could come back a little bit. I think Panguitch might pull away pretty heavily with this one. They've got their JV bench in, well they did at the end of the second half. So we'll just have to see what the Raiders can come up with in the second half, and hopefully their coach got kind of a little fire underneath them, and maybe they'll come out and score a little more on this offensive side here in the second half. But this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament, and make sure you watch online at kadqradio.com.
Mom's onboard electronic stability control system was giving us some woes. I don't even know what that means. But he does.
You guys are all fixed and ready to go.
Expert care for your car, so you can trust in more than just your tires.
We've got the selection you need and the friendly service you deserve. Come see us today. Big O Tires, Evanston, Wyoming.
Big O Tires, the team you trust.
They may be last year's models, but they're still brand new vehicles. And now you can save big on the 2013s that are left on the lot at Cowboy Motor Company. Save over $9,000 on a Ram 2500 SLT Crew Cummins diesel. Save over $5,500 on a Durango RT and over $9,000 on a Chrysler 300C John Barbados. Restrictions apply. Cowboy Motor Company has millions of dollars in financing for all types of credit. They may be last year's models, but they're still brand new vehicles at Cowboy Motor Company in Evanston.
Once upon a time, there was a family of frogs. They enjoyed surfing the internet. They found it absolutely riveting. So when their computer croaked, they were hopping mad. They swam down to see Wayne at PC Innovations in Evanston, across from Big O Tire in Frontier Square. Wayne was able to get all of the bugs out of their computer, which they promptly ate, and then our frogs jumped for joy. When you have computer problems, see Wayne at PC Innovations for your very own happy ending. This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Panguitch High School Lady Bobcat Boosters.
Cowboy Collectibles, antiquing the Western way, supplying real Western antiques. Cowboy Collectibles on Main Street in Panguitch.
Bob Orton Trucking, supporting all the great students in academics and sports at Panguitch High School. Bob Orton Trucking.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
Back inside the SV Center, as the Panguitch Bobcats are taking on the Whitehorse Raiders, just about ready to start the second half as Panguitch leads 47-8. And the winner of this game is going to take on Rich, who just beat Wendover in the previous game 51-20. As the Bobcats come back onto the floor, just waiting for Whitehorse to come out of the huddle. As the second half is going to start, hopefully Whitehorse can start their hot shooting, as they're supposedly one of the highest scoring teams in 1A. But Panguitch is undefeated and is just out here to gain their spot in the state championship final game, as Whitehorse inbounds the ball to number 23, Yvette Whitehorse. She's going to take it to the left side wing, pass it into Thomasina Yellerman, who tries to get it inside, and it's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Panguitch basketball, as Taylor Bennett is going to inbound it and give it into Katanya Holman. Holman that had 6 points in the first half. As she looks for Taylor Bennett on the right side wing, Bennett looks inside to Franson. Franson gets open, but is handed to Chesney Campbell. Campbell gets it into Franson. Franson scores 2 points. That's going to be the first points of the second half. 49-8 for the Bobcats as Taylor Bennett comes up with the steal against Whitehorse. She looks for Katanya Holman for the fast break, and she's going to score another 2 points. That's 8 points for Katanya Holman, 10 points for Derry Franson on the previous play. Whitehorse is now going to try and set up the play again, as Yvette Whitehorse has the reins. And it's going to be stolen again by Whitney Orton. She's going to go for an easy left-handed fast break layup. She's going to make that one. And Whitney Orton now has 15 points in the game total. Whitehorse is going to try and go for a left-handed layup, and they're going to make it. Raphaelia Filfred goes for the layup and scores, and she's going to get an and one, so an opportunity for a three-point play. And she lines up, and she's going to be fouled by Derry Franson, which was her first personal foul. First shot up and good for Raphaelia, first and only for the and one, so she completed the three-point play, as Holman again has the reins for the Bobcats. She looks into Campbell, gives it into Franson, and just a little vertical line play through the paint. Franson with 2 more points on the board. As Dickinson for Whitehorse brings it back down, she's going to go to the left side wing. Passes it to who she thought was cutting clear underneath Yvette Whitehorse, and it's stolen by Panguitch. Panguitch again with the ball, but it's shipped away by Dickinson. She can't control it. Panguitch has the ball, but then stolen away again. Whitehorse tries for the fast break and throws it away. A pass intended for Dickinson went clear out of bounds, and Panguitch is going to come up with the ball as Brianne Birch subs in for Derry Franson. Holman with the ball as Taylor Bennett cuts up to the top. And Chesney Campbell cuts through the paint and gets open, puts up a layup, and no good, rebounded by Whitehorse. As Dickinson's going to go up for another layup and 2 more points for Dickinson. And Panguitch now has the ball. Whitney Orton passes it to Campbell. Campbell out to Birch. Birch going to drive into the center, dish it off to Campbell again. She misses it, and it's going to be brought up by Whitehorse. And Whitehorse goes in baseline. She's looking for a foul, didn't get it. She misses that layup, and it is taken away by Whitney Orton as she goes left-handed all the way down, but hands it off to Katanya Holman for another 2 points. Nice assist there by Whitney Orton. As Whitehorse has the ball again, Dickinson goes to pass it to Rochelle Filfred, and Birch almost had the steal there for Panguitch. As Whitehorse is going to inbound the ball. Dickinson out on the sideline here as she gets ready, looking for Whitehorse. As Wyvette tries to set up the offense here. Holman comes out to meet her on the three-point line, goes to the left side wing, almost stolen by Campbell, but dished off to 22, Michaela Mitchell. She can't grab hold of it. Panguitch takes it, but gets it back, and then Whitehorse again scores 2 more points, which they have 7 now, and they only had 8 in the first half. But Panguitch goes up for another layup, and it's missed. Whitehorse came up with the rebound. Birch went for a steal, and it was knocked out of bounds, so it's going to be Whitehorse ball. And Dickinson's going to inbound it to Whitehorse, as in Wyvette Whitehorse. She goes to the top of the key, pulls up short, looks for Benali on the right side wing, and Katanya Holman strips it away and is going for another fast break, left-handed. 2 more points for Holman. She has 12 points now on the game as Whitehorse drives in, draws a foul on Raphaelia Filfred. She's going to go to the line for 2 more points. And that foul was on Campbell, and that's her third for Bobcats, as the Bobcats now have 2 team fouls. First shot is up and no good for Filfred, as Maisie Miller checks. Oh, Brinkerhoff, Caitlin Brinkerhoff checks back in for Chesney Campbell, as she sits down with 3 fouls. And Filfred is at the line. Her second shot is good. As Panguitch brings the ball back down the court. Holman going to look for the left wing. Whitney Orton doesn't pass to her. Goes over to Brinkerhoff. Back to the baseline to Birch. Birch, who's going to drain the baseline shot. 2 more points for Panguitch. That brings them 61-16. As Whitehorse is struggling to keep the ball away from Whitney Orton, as she strips another ball away and goes up for another fast break layup. Panguitch is now 63-16, and Whitehorse is looking for an inside player, but it's guarded heavily by Taylor Bennett. Birch from Panguitch tried to save the ball and hit it up against the backboard, out on Panguitch, so it's going to be Whitehorse ball. As Maisie Miller checks in for Whitney Orton for Panguitch. And ball inbounded to Raphaelia Filfred. She went up for the shot, no good, but gets the foul, so she's going to have a chance for 2 free throws at the line. And Katanya Holman gets her second foul. Filfred, first shot up and good. She has 1 more attempt. Panguitch up 63 to Whitehorse's 17. And Katanya Holman checks out for the Bobcats as Brianne Birch comes back in. Second shot up and good for Raphaelia Filfred, as Birch brings the ball back down the court for Panguitch. Passes it to Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff to the left side to Birch. Birch takes it out to 21, Caitlin Brinkerhoff, as she brings it back up top. Passes it down to number 12, Birch, who gets it into Bennett. Bennett couldn't finish on that layup, and Whitehorse came up with the rebound as Benali races down the floor. She's got 2 Bobcat defenders on her, but she's still going to go for a layup. Misses it, no good. Rebounded by Birch. Birch races down the floor to the left side, and she's going to be kicked by Benali. And Aaliyah Benali is going to pick up her second foul. Caitlin Brinkerhoff is going to inbound it for Panguitch. She's looking for open players. Birch gets it up by the foul line, passes it back out to Jaylee Torgerson, a sub for Panguitch. And Benali's out to, I think, kind of get these Panguitch girls, as Brinkerhoff shoots a shot from the baseline, hits the top of the backboard, and Whitehorse comes up with the rebound. Latonia Thompson tries to drive in. She's going to be fouled by Panguitch. And it's going to be on the ground. It's going to be inbounded by Whitehorse. Almost stripped away then again by Birch. And Jaylee Torgerson comes up with the rebound. And we're going to have a travel called on Caitlin Brinkerhoff. And Taylor Bennett checks out for the Bobcats as number 11, Rylan Veeder, comes in for her. And Whitehorse has the ball. Benali at the point passes it to left wing out to Ophelia Filfred, who takes it back up top to Latonia Thompson. Goes for the three-pointer, no good. Stripped away by Whitehorse. Benali almost loses it. Goes up for a layup and comes up short. And Birch is going to go with the rebound and race it down the floor as she kind of slows down a little bit. Has it off to Caitlin Brinkhoff, who gets it to the post to Jaylee Torgerson, who goes up for a layup against the defender. No good. But we're going to have a foul on the rebound on Whitehorse. And that's Latonia Thompson, number 31. That's her first. And Brinkerhoff's going to inbound it for Panguitch. Out to Birch. Back to Brinkerhoff. She tries to get it down to Jaylee Torgerson again on the post. And Whitehorse comes up with the steal as Latonia Thompson brings it down the court. Puts up a long three. It's saved by Benelli. And Birch of Panguitch has the ball as she passes it to Torgerson. Torgerson goes into Brinkerhoff, back out to Torgerson, up to Birch, who's going to drive in for the right-handed layup. She's going to be fouled by Whitehorse, which brings Whitehorse up to 3 team fouls. Panguitch has 4. Panguitch is up 63-18. And Birch is at the line for 2 free throws. Her first shot is up and no good, as she's going to get a second attempt here, as Thomasina Yellowman comes back in for the Raiders. Birch lines up for her second shot. It's up, and it's good. And then Raiders have another sub, number 23, Yvette Whitehorse, comes in for Chrissy Dickinson, who had that last foul. And the Raiders have the ball as Raphaelia Filford brings the ball down the court, passes it left side wing to Latonia Thompson as she drives in to the center, goes up kind of a forced crazy shot right there, but she's going to draw the foul and get 2 free throws. And it is on number 12, Brianne Birch of Panguitch. Her first shot is up and no good for Thompson. As the ref passes her the ball, she's going to go up for her second attempt. Her shot is up and no good. Bounces off every part of the rim. As Panguitch comes up with the rebound. Brinkerhoff has it on the right side. Looks into the center where she's got 2 Bobcat players going in. And it's stripped away by Whitehorse. As Filfred goes back in with the ball, passes it back out to the right wing. Dominique Poblito, she goes up for a long three, no good. And it's rebounded by Whitehorse. Another shot attempt up and no good. And then there's going to be a jump ball on the play. And it's going to be Panguitch basketball. As Caitlin Bringerhoff again inbounds it to Brianne Birch of Panguitch. Panguitch up 64-18 with 20 seconds left in the third quarter. As Rylan Veeder has the ball, passes it out to baseline to Maisie Miller, who gets it to Birch. Birch is driving into the left side, looks for Veeder on the post. She's wide open, but it's still shipped away by Raphaelia Filfred. It's Whitehorse ball. Birch is going to try and put a little pressure on him. And here comes Brinkerhoff for Panguitch. Going to put a little full court press on here with 8 seconds left. Whitehorse has the ball as LaTonya Thompson shoots a long three and hits a buzzer beater for LaTonya Thompson. 3 points. That brings the score 64-21 for the Bobcats at the end of the third quarter. And this is a Big O Tires of Edison, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament. And make sure you watch online at live.ksl.com.
Throughout our lives, there are times we may need skilled rehabilitation and nursing care or home health and hospice care. Rocky Mountain Care has been providing these services since 1990. Our skilled staff and specialized programs will meet your loved one's needs. Our staff is dedicated to a high-quality outcome for each of our patients and residents. When you or someone you love needs these professional services, think of Rocky Mountain Care. Simply the best care. www.rmcare.com.
This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Panguitch High School Lady Bobcat Boosters.
Canyon Country Drilling, offering pump service and quality water well drilling. Canyon Country Drilling at msn.com.
When visiting Panguitch, stay at the Canyon Lodge Motel, your home away from home. Make your reservations at canyonlodgemotel.com.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
Back in action here as Raphaelia Filfred just made another layup for Whitehorse. And Whitehorse again stripped the ball away, and Dickinson went for a little turnaround layup right there, misses it. But Raphaelia Filfred gets the rebound put back right there for another 2 points. As Panguitch leads 64-25 in this last game of the night in 1A basketball. And the ball again stripped away from Whitehorse, but thrown to Dickinson as she was going for a fast break a little too far. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Panguitch basketball, and Whitehorse is going to bring out a full press defense right now to maybe slow down this Panguitch offense a little bit, as Brianna Bremner was inbounded the ball, giving it to Marley Torgerson, who gets it across half court back to number 20, Joni Holman. To the right side baseline to Maisie Miller. She puts up a long shot, no good. Rebounded by Whitehorses. They're hustling down the floor. Thomasini Yellowman goes up for a layup, no good, but she's going to draw a foul on 32 of Panguitch, Brianna Bremner. And Thomasini Yellowman is going to have 2 shots here on the free throw line. As Panguitch still leads 64-25. Yellowman's first shot is up and good. That's her first point of the game. Looking for her second one as Dickinson checks out for the Raiders. Yellowman sets up for her second shot. It's up and good. 2 points for Yellowman. 64-27 for the Bobcats. As Marley Torgerson brings the ball across the court, passes it to the top, Joni Holman, who gets it back to Brianna Bremner. Back to the left side wing, Marley Torgerson back up top as Panguitch is just getting it around the perimeter. And Brianna Bremner is going to take an NBA range 3-pointer right there, and it goes out of the rim, rebounded by Whitehorse, almost stripped away by Bremner. And Whitehorse almost throws it out of bounds as Rochelle Filfred picks it back up. And Panguitch now has the ball on a fast break. Number 20, Joni Holman goes for a fast break but misses the layup. And on a putback, there's going to be a foul for Brianna Bremner as it sends her to the line. And the foul's on Rochelle Filfred, her second. Bremner's first shot is up and no good. She's going to set up for her second. She lines her foot up. She's going to have a couple of dribbles here. The routine foul shot. It's up and just short off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Rochelle Filfred of Whitehorse. She stops a little early, hands it off to Yvette Whitehorse. She takes it up top, trying to set up the offense again for the Raiders as Yellowman tries to throw it down under, and there's going to be another foul called on Panguitch. And Shantae Miller number 25 is going to bring her first foul, and Panguitch now has 7, which is going to send Whitehorse to the line, and her first shot is up and good for Michaela Mitchell. Going to put her on the board with her first score of the night. She's lining up for this second 1-and-1 attempt, and it is good. As Bremner brings the ball back down for Panguitch. She's going to set up the play here as Shantae Miller comes up to the top, is looking for her to give it to her in the inside. Ball's just being passed around the perimeter by Panguitch. Marley Torgerson defended heavily by 2 Whitehorse players, and it's stripped away by Whitehorse as number 5, Raphael Filfred, is going to be at the line again after going up for a missed layup. She's going to get 2 shots, and Bremner comes up with her second foul. And Dominique Poblito is checking back in for the Raiders as Filfred's only shot is up and good. As Bremner brings the ball back down for Panguitch. She looks to the left side wing for Marley Torgerson. She puts up a jumper, no good. Almost rebounded by Maisie Miller. She couldn't hold on to it, knocked it out of bounds. It's going to be Whitehorse ball as Dominique Poblito inbounds it to Yvette Whitehorse. She passes to the right side wing to Fayette Whitehorse, back to the left side. They're also passing around the perimeter, trying to get that open shot underneath, and it's knocked out of bounds by Whitehorse, so it's going to be a turnover for them. It's going to be Panguitch basketball. But the refs are kind of discussing whether or not that happened. I didn't think so. They're going to switch the calls here. It was knocked out of bounds by Panguitch. Whitehorse basketball as LaTanya Thompson's going to check back in, and Michaela Mitchell is going to check out. Whitehorse looks to inbound it. Inbounds it far up and a shot missed by number 20, Fayette Whitehorse. And we're going to call a jump ball, trying to get that rebound. And it's going to be Bobcat basketball. Bobcats up 64-32 with just under 5 minutes of play remaining in the second half. As Bremner brings the ball back up, get it to the left side wing, Marley Torgerson, and stripped away by Rochelle Filfred, who's going to try and go for another layup, and it's missed. And she's going to draw the foul again by Bremner, she's going to bring her third foul. 2 more shots for Rochelle Filfred as she gets ready to take on her first. It goes up and in. And a full substitution change for the Bobcats, except for number 14, Marley Torgerson. She's going to stay in. But Birch comes back in, and Jaylee Torgerson, along with Rylan Veter. And her second shot up and no good, rebounded by Veter. As Birch has the ball, goes to pass it to Brinkerhoff. She wasn't looking. Stripped away by Filfred. She's going to go for another layup. And it's good by Filfred, as Panguitch leads 64-35. Birch has the ball up top. Looks for Torgerson on the left side wing, back over to Brinkerhoff on the right side, back up top to Birch, passing it around the perimeter, looking for that inside play. And they looked and saw Veter, but a Whitehorse was right there as Filfred comes up with another steal. And Dominique Poblito takes a long three-point shot, no good. Rebounded by Panguitch. Pass up to Jaylee Torgerson, and she's going to travel. And Whitehorse basketball, we're going to have another substitution for the Raiders. Number 1, Rochelle Filfred's coming back in for Whitehorse, and she's checking in for Raphaelia Filfred. And Whitehorse has the ball as 34. Dominique Poblito stops at the top, gives it to Dickinson at the top, who's also going to shoot what she wanted to be a 3. Stepped over the line, rebounded by Panguitch. Birch has the ball, taking it back down the court, and looking for Torgerson or Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff on the right side wing, up clear above the three-point line as they're looking to maybe take some time off the clock, but Torgerson on the left side baseline sinks the jumper right there. And Marley Torgerson with 2 points. And Whitehorse tries to answer with a three-point shot. No good. Rebounded by Panguitch. As Birch gets outlet pass there and is on the way down the court. Birch again with the ball. Drives in. Gets her own rebound after missing her layup. Almost 2 offensive rebounds by Birch. And Birch again has the ball up top. She's going to try to go in again. Up layup, no good. Rebounded by Whitehorse as Rochelle Filfred has the ball, taking it down court for Whitehorse. Giving it to Dickinson, who looked for a junction shot. There's no shot there. She looked for Latonia Thompson and threw it a little too high for her, out of bounds. So it's going to be Panguitch ball. Panguitch up 66-35 with just under 3 minutes of play left in this ball game. As Birch brings the ball back down, passes it to Brinkerhoff, who gets it to Jaylee Torgerson on the junction, and there's going to be a foul called on Whitehorse, and it's going to be on Raphaelia Filfred. That's her 3rd personal, bringing the team to 5 team fouls. Panguitch inbounds the ball, but doesn't get it far enough. Stripped away by Whitehorse, and it's just kind of like a nobody really could decide who wanted that basketball. The Whitehorse came on top with it as Rochelle Filfred went up for the layup. No good, but there's going to be a foul on the play. It was on the ground, so Whitehorse is going to take the ball underneath the basket as Dominique Poblito is going to inbound it for Whitehorse. And she looks for Raphaelia Filfred, who goes up for the layup, and it's no good, who gets an offensive rebound, goes up and makes another basket. So Raphaelia Filfred with 2 more points. And Panguitch basketball. As Whitehorse is picking up the defense here, they're going to do a full court press, trying to strip away the basketball just a few more times, as they do, as Raphaelia Filfred gets the ball, hands it off to Dickinson, back to Filfred, who's going to go for a left-handed layup, and it's good. 1 more basket by Raphaelia Filfred. She's really starting to show her athletic ability here as Panguitch gets the ball back, and Rylan Veter, number 11, shows up on the board tonight with 2 more points on a little baseline jumper, as Whitehorse is going to be fouled by Panguitch, and it's going to take her to the line because of the bonus. The Bobcats have 9 team fouls, so she's going to get it. Well, actually, they're in the double bonus now with 10 fouls, so Dickinson's going to shoot 2. And that foul was on Brianne Birch. It's her 2nd personal. Dickinson misses her first foul shot. And is going to line up for her 2nd right here. Bobcats up 68-39. Her shot's up and good. Panguitch basketball as Brinkerhoff is the inbounder. Finds Birch. Birch passes it back to Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff stops and Birch is going to get it across half court. She's going to throw it over to Torgerson, down into, just kidding, that was number, Torgerson with the basket there at the bottom, and Dixon again has the ball, passes it back out to Rochelle Filfred, misses it, but it's going to be put back by number 20, I do believe, Fayette Whitehorse. She's going to pass it back. Panguitch has the ball, going to pass it back out to Birch, and it's stripped away by Raphilia, and it's blocked by Caitlin Brinkerhoff. And Birch got it down court to Jaylee Torgerson, who is down below. 20 seconds left in this ball game. Birch is going to shoot a three-pointer, and it's long. She tries to get the ball back, a little aggressive there on Whitehorse. Panguitch. Birch again has the ball. Aggressive play there by Birch. She shot it, went for her offensive rebound. Panguitch picked it back up, and she fought with a Whitehorse player to get that ball back. And it's going to be Panguitch ball as Brinkerhoff goes to inbound the ball. Panguitch up 70-42 with 12 seconds remaining. Has the clear out to Birch on the top of the three-point line. Way short, and it's going to be Whitehorse ball. Caitlin Brinkerhoff's going to put a little defensive pressure there on Whitehorse as Dickinson gets it across half court. And she tries to get it into Whitehorse. Panguitch comes up with the ball, and end of ball game. Panguitch comes out on top 70-42. And this is the last game of the night. And Panguitch is going to take on Rich tomorrow, who defeated Wendover earlier today in the semifinals. And we'll be back in just a minute for some post-game stats. And this is a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the Utah 1A Girls State Tournament.
For over 100 years, Union Telephone has been providing phone service to small communities, places the big guys simply ignored. We were helping our neighbors stay connected to the rest of the country. Times have changed and technology has evolved. Union has been there the entire way. Today, we still keep people connected in more ways and places than ever before. Union Wireless, treating you like a neighbor, not a number.
At Wyoming Dental Specialties, we specialize in orthodontics, endodontics, and oral surgery. Our endodontist is simply a tooth doctor. He performs procedures like root canals. Our orthodontist will straighten your teeth using products like braces and Invisalign. Our oral surgeons deliver specialized treatment, such as dental implants and tooth extractions. So save your time and money, stay local, and come to Wyoming Dental Specialties.
This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Whitehorse High School Lady Raider Boosters.
Montezuma Well Service. For all vacuum, winch trucks, and roustabout services, call the team at Montezuma Well Services.
The Whitehorse High School staff, helping our students strive for excellence in all they do. Whitehorse High School.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air. This broadcast from the 2014 Girls 1A Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is being brought to you in part by these Panguitch High School Lady Bobcat Boosters.
Cowboy Collectibles, antiquing the Western way, supplying real Western antiques. Cowboy Collectibles on Main Street in Panguitch.
Bob Orton Trucking, supporting all the great students in academics and sports at Panguitch High School. Bob Orton Trucking.
The 2014 1A Girls Utah State Basketball Championship Tournament is on the air.
And back here at the SB Center in Richfield, Utah, where Panguitch just defeated Whitehorse 70-42 in the last game from today's tournament play. And Panguitch will now take on Rich in the semifinals. And St. Joseph and Bryce Valley will pair off, and the winner of those will be in the championship game this Saturday, February 22nd. We're just going to go over some stats here post-game. Raphaelia Filfred of Whitehorse actually ended up leading all scorers with 24 points, as she came out in the second half just wanting to score as much as she could, and she did with 24 points, as Panguitch's starters all sat down for most of the second half, and Whitney Orton ended the game for Panguitch with 17 points, followed by Catania Holman with 12 and Chesney Campbell with 10, and Chrissy Dickinson of Whitehorse ended up with 9 points on the play. So the Whitehorse Raiders had definitely a better second half showing, as they ended up scoring 42, and they only had 8 points going into halftime, which is a huge improvement for the Raiders. And so that wraps up things for tonight at the 1A State Basketball Girls Finals here on Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow as the semis are going to pick up with Rich and Panguitch playing at 6 o'clock, and St. Joseph and Bryce Valley playing at 7:30 to see who goes into the championship game. And this has been a sports production and sports broadcast of Old West Media Incorporated and Cook Brothers Broadcasting. No portion of this production can be used or rebroadcast without express written consent of Old West Media Incorporated.
You've been watching a Big O Tires of Evanston, Wyoming presentation of the UHSAA 1A Girls Basketball State Championship Tournament at the Sevier Valley Center in Richfield, Utah, and online at kadqradio.com, at live.ksl.com, and at watchit.deseretnews.com. Today's games were also brought to you by Cook Brothers Broadcasting and Deseret Digital Media. Thank you, and we hope you've enjoyed this presentation of Utah High School Girls Basketball.